Chaz, where are we right now?
Where the fuck do you think we are, bro? What's on, baby?
Tastes like freedom.
Tastes like freedom.
Chaz is a former US Navy, veteran of the war in Iraq. He has come from Kansas to Odessa to help Ukrainians in the fight. Since May, he has been training the Territorial Defense Forces.
So I did 6 years in the US Navy. I have tours in Iraq as well as deployments on submarines as security action force for nuclear weapons. So I got kind of a whole weird background. That's that CQB, that close quarters battle kind of stuff that we trained very extensively on in case someone tried to take over the ship or someone went crazy and started trying to kill everybody or something like that. Before we got the call to move, I had trained 5 of the 7 battalions. So to break that down, each battalion has 5 companies. Each company has about 60 men. So there's between 300 and 500 per battalion. So I'd say around 2,500 troops. Use every single inch you can by making yourself smaller and tighter. Divide, divide, divide! A lot of it is seeing the tenacity and the resolve of the Ukrainian people against, Russian oppression. I'm a big fan of beating up bullies, and I think Russia very much was trying to be a bully. And when you see someone stand up for themselves like that, it really kind of gets to you a little bit, go, I need to go help them out any way I can. I was just planning on being here short term. And but since then, like I said, I kind of fell in love with the people and the city and just how nice everyone's been and accommodating, and I don't know, just absolutely loved it. Just because a lot of it was the language thing, and I was very hesitant to go try to talk to people, right? Because I was, again, like this whole Western mindset, like, oh, Ukrainians don't laugh, and straight-faced old Soviet Union kind of thing. But since, like I said, I've gotten here, it's like, oh, they're just people, man. They're just the same as us. If you need something, you can ask, and you can usually figure it out with hand signals or something like that. Yeah, so I make that joke, the Ukrainian Army has all the best things about the US military without any of the worst things. So for example, having a beard, that's a big one. Like the Ukrainian Army, they're not worried about someone being clean shaven. If that person is executing their job, doing it well, it's not so much, yes sir, no sir, salute sir. It's much more personable, and it's like, we're in this together. Yeah, so there's a couple parts to that. The first one is, again, that the determination of the Ukrainian people. You guys are fighting for your homes, fighting for your family's land, fighting for your city, and your country. And not saying Americans don't do that, but Iraq wasn't my home. That wasn't, I wasn't worried about my grandma in Kherson because we couldn't get her out or something like that. So that's a big one. 2, maybe gloating on myself, but it's a higher level of training that we're getting. You see these things coming out of Russia where these guys are not getting the equipment and the kind of training that they need to keep their guys alive. So because of that, I think our morale is much higher, which again makes us a better fighting force. Thirdly, a lot of it has to do with the equipment. I think a lot of this Western equipment coming in, Ukraine's ability to understand how to use it and implement it the right way, especially using those HIMARS and MLR systems, are really helping out quite a bit.
Really sad to see what the Russians did in these villages. Just fucking horrible. Like, you think about how many people are displaced from homes, like kids, women, all that shit. Just sad to look at.
I haven't seen that kind of destruction, like going through Baghdad and Mosul and all these other areas in Iraq. Like, there's definitely destruction, but it wasn't at the same kind of level that it wasn't Kherson. I mean, it was just everything. Like, every single house was destroyed. Every single road was just destroyed. You're running around, and you see old grads and smirches just, stuck in fields, which is, you're kind of like, oh, I hope that's actually gone off already, as you drive by it. But it really kind of shows that the civilian population was being targeted much more than military, and that was really the part that kind of really is upsetting. When we pulled up in the city center, we were we were a couple days behind, like I said, the initial, force. And we're like, all right, well, let's just go get a photo in city center and, thumbs up, good job. And it was just packed with people.
Everyone's asking us to sign their flags. Become local celebrities, signing people's flags.
It was amazing, the feeling that I had. It was just so much gratitude and joy and relief. And old babushkas were coming up, oh, take a photo, kiss you on the cheek, wanting to give you candy. And this one guy wanted me to hold his kid because it was her second birthday. And you're just like, oh man, this really is like, you're trying to, oh, don't cry, man, don't, be strong, and people wanting to sign flags and give you little ribbons. And what's amazing is that these people have had basically nothing for 8 months and they still want to give you things. And so just to anyone coming over, do the research, understand what you're doing, make sure you bring something to the table that can help Ukraine. Don't just show up and be like, oh, okay, here, just give me a gun, I'll do that. Because that's not,
take a picture with it.
Yeah, exactly. We have enough Ukrainians here that are willing to fight. They need help from guys who already know how to do these kind of things. So that way we can help make the Ukrainians better fighters.